All right, I don't know what time it is on your clock, but I know what I'm getting ready for. It is time for the Professional CISO Podcast with David Malaco.
Welcome, one and all, to the Professional CISO Podcast. I'm your host, David Malaco. This show is an exploration of the topics necessary to professionalize the role of the CISO. This is our first innovation series. Let's define the innovation series. This is a deep dive into the technologies, the new things that are out there, developments in cybersecurity, and we're going to do it from a buyer's perspective, right? This is where I put my CISO hat on. Our innovation guest is Armis, and we'll be covering the Armis Centrix product. And so representing Armis today is Michael Freeman, their head of threat intelligence. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So, Michael, first I want to start with, can you give me a little bit of background on you, right?
I spent a couple decades building offensive and defensive capabilities for U.S. intelligence agencies. I left that field and spent some time at a Fortune 100 company for 5 years, where I took a look at some of the problem spaces we were having and realized we could do much better. And long story short, I started a company and got acquired by Armis back in February.
I know Armis is known as an OT company. Does this just sit in OT? Is this IT? Is this cloud? Is this everything? Kind of talk to me about the scope of the problem that you guys address.
It's not focused on any core component per se. If you take a look at my time I spent at a Fortune 100 company, I went and asked the vulnerability management team to do a scan of the environment that they knew about. And they came back to me with 78,000 assets they knew of. They scanned the environment and said there was 28 million vulnerabilities, of which 6 million were criticals and highs. Using Centrix, we would actually be able to identify all the assets we had. Now, the next piece is, how do you prioritize that 6 million criticals and high vulnerabilities? So what we did is took a look at some technologies I've created in the past, some of them DARPA projects, things like that, that helped us identify what vulnerabilities threat actors are using in the wild. We're leveraging AI quite extensively now, and we have been for a while. We're building new AI components that will help us build new collector components that will identify more accurately certain types of information technologies or operational technologies that are extremely rare. So we're really focusing very heavily on the AI piece, as well as identifying what gaps we currently have in the processes and the tool sets that all of our customers have to fill those gaps in with new technologies and new AI.
Love it. Okay, so I would be remiss putting myself in with my CISO hat back on. You're talking about using AI. What is Armis doing to make sure that that AI, are you taking information from and feeding the model from my environment? How are you making sure that that AI is quote unquote safe to use?
We use AI in key steps that the leverage component of it is going to be a large factor. The accuracy component is going to be a large factor. So when we build our AI models on anything, whether that's intelligence collections, building new rule sets that we need to have in place, there's very defined problem statements that we're going after and using AI specifically on those areas. So we're not going to be an AI large engine that does everything for you. It just doesn't work that way. Armis is really driven to see, manage, and protect. And we want to help you understand what you have in your environment. We want you to help you protect it better and more proactively than a reactive type of approach, and to manage those assets in a much better process than what you've done in the past.
The intent behind the innovation series is to give folks an idea of what's coming, where the developments are in cybersecurity, and how we can get a hold of that faster, so we can understand those moves faster, how things are evolving faster. And so truly appreciate your time today. It's time to professionalize the role of the CISO. With that, I wish you health, happiness, and success in your journey in becoming the professional CISO. Let's do this.
We're professionalizing the CISO role, so please subscribe to the Professional CISO Podcast.